Freelancing is dead. Well, not literally, but if you're still charging low prices, dealing with nightmare clients and grinding it out for a few $1,000s a month, then you're practically working a glorified 9 to 5. And I know this because when I was 18, I was a freelancer. I ran a social media marketing agency for restaurants in my area where I would manage their social media, post, grow, record, and basically just do everything that they wanted me to do. And whilst yes, it was my first taste of making real money online and I was making between $3,000 to $5,000, it still felt like I was a glorified employee. Clients disrespected my time, paid me peanuts, and practically expected the world. Fast forward 3 years, I now run a business that makes me over 7 figures a year where I can actually work less and earn more at the same time. And this is the view that I get to look out to on a Monday morning. So in this video, I'm going to break down why freelancing in its traditional form is broken, the biggest mistakes keeping you stuck earning less whilst working more, and most importantly, how to escape this track and actually scale your income without losing your sanity. So first things first, why is freelancing dead? Now, there's quite a lot of flaws to freelancing, and as being one myself, I know the exact struggles that you have to encounter and that you have to kind of make your way through in order to actually scale as a freelancer and actually make an income that can sustain the life that you want to live. And the first biggest flaw of traditional freelancing is trading your time for money. Now, I know that this is only apparent depending on the type of freelancing that you're actually delivering, but for most freelancing, you are directly trading your time for money. And similar to working a 9 to 5, when you're trading your time for money, you are always going to be capped with your earning potential due to how much you make. And sure, you can increase your cost per hour, your value per hour, but there's always going to be a limit because you get to the point where your value per hour becomes ridiculous. I mean, think about it logically. Even if you were to work 24 hours a day, you're still going to be capped by the amount of money that you can make. And of course, that's a miserable life to live as a result. And the truth is that any business owner will tell you is that if you want to make money, if you want to live the life that you want to live, then you need to find a way to make money whilst you sleep. It can't be attached directly to the time that you put in. The second and third biggest flaw is the unreliable income and clients over demanding and underpaying. And now there's a very specific reason to this. You see, I run a coaching program where I help people turn their skills into a business, turn their skills into money. And a lot of people that come to me are coming from a freelancing background. And the problem that a lot of them find is that there's a very interesting and weird and broken dynamic between a freelancer and a client. Because the freelancer, unfortunately, is always seen as less than the client. There is never an equal dynamic that goes on, which means that when you are delivering work or you're asking for feedback or there's some kind of communication between you and the client, there's always a kind of a disconnect between it. Which is why anyone that comes to me says I'm a freelancer, I always urge them to build out an agency instead, because clients, companies, individuals will work much more fairly with an agency, an established business, as per to a freelancer. And the fourth biggest problem I always see with freelancing is that you have very, very little leverage. When you are a freelancer, you're an individual. Like I said, you're basically a glorified employee. And with that comes a ridiculous amount of stress. You know, I've heard far too many stories from graphic designers who do work for a client in which they think it's going to take them 5 hours, so they price it accordingly, only to then come to the realization that this task actually took them 25 hours and they've only been paid for 5 hours of work. The truth is that unless you're willing to go through all of that bad shit and unless you're willing to actually kind of scale up as a freelancer and become the person to go to within the industry, you are going to go through that shit. And a lot of people get stuck in that stuff and never end up finding a way out. The truth is that freelancing isn't the dream that people make it out to be. But the good news is that you can change that. There's a very few simple fixes that you can make and changes that you can implement in order to go from being a freelancer to authority, a business owner. You see, most people think that going from a freelancer to a business owner is such an incredibly large step to take, and therefore they would rather just not even touch it with a barge pole. However, it's much easier than you think. I mean, here are 3 differences between a freelancer and a business owner and how it benefits you to be a business owner. The first thing is productization, and this is the idea of instead of charging for your time, you are charging for the result that you're actually delivering. Because doing this, you're able to price the result on however much you want to price the result, because pricing is just completely value perception. For example, if I've got 2 books here and these books are absolutely identical, but I price one of them as $10 and one of them as $100, you're going to think that this one is incredibly far more valuable just because it has a higher price point on it, although they are exactly the same. And the same thing goes for your service. You could have a website designing service that costs $500 and the exact same thing that costs $5,000, and there won't be a big disparity in the actual quality of the product, but there is a massive disparity in how valuable people perceive it as. And a lot of pricing, to be completely honest, is just about confidence. You know, I've had a lot of students that have added an extra 0 onto the end of their pricing, and it's been an instant, yes, I'll work with you 100%, and they're shocked. And they look back at all the previous people that they've charged an absolute minimum to, and they get frustrated with themselves. You know, they think, Jesus Christ, I could have made 10 times the amount of money that I have just made from this one deal if I just added an extra 0 onto my price. The second big difference between a freelancer and a business owner is systems and delegation. Because as a freelancer, you're typically solo. It's typically just you. But being able to systemize and delegate some of the tasks to your teammates, aka being an agency, will save you a massive amount of time. It will be able to make the end product far better because you could hire people that are better than you at doing that specific thing. And of course, if the product is better, you're able to charge more. As a result, you make more money. And the third thing is the client selection and retention. I mean, like I said before, being a freelancer, working with a client, working with a business always has a weird dynamic. But being an agency, being a business owner, working with a business owner, there's always a level of mutual respect there. I found that when turning from a freelancer managing managing social media to an agency managing social media, there was a completely different communication, completely different relationship between me and the client. There was more respect, there was more communication, there was more urgency, and as a result, I was able to deliver the product better, far easier, far quicker, and I'd retain the client for longer. And the way I was able to do that is just by switching to an agency. Now, this video isn't about how to become an agency and stop being a freelancer, but I do want to explain the steps that you can take to stop being a freelancer and turn your skills, your passion, your freelancing expertise into a business where you can actually make the money that you want to make, you can live the life that you want to live, and you can build an entity that is separated and attached from you, that is a vehicle to help you get to where you want to get. And I'm going to break it down to a 4-step process that you can actually follow starting today. Now, this is assuming that you've come from a position as a freelancer, so I'm assuming you already have some kind of skill, some kind of service that you want to sell. The first biggest change you can make to go from a freelancer to a business is by identifying a specific market. Because I know, coming from a position as a freelancer, you will work with anyone and do anything anyone asks in order to actually get that paycheck. But the problem with that is that when you are working with everyone, you become generalized. Your skill set isn't specific enough for you to be able to charge a high price point for it. It's like me having a problem, for example, and going to the doctors about it. If I go to the doctors and say, "Hi doctor, I have this really specific problem here that I really need help with," and the doctor says, "I can help anyone with anything, I can cure anything," I don't have much confidence in that doctor. But if I do go to a doctor and I find a specialist who specializes in my exact problem, has the medicine that can help me and can fix my issues, I'm going to be willing to pay that doctor far more money to solve my specific problem. And the same thing goes with identifying a market, because when you identify a market, you have a specific solution that you can solve. And not only that, but you become incredibly good at your service when you do that, because you get hyper specialized in this one thing. So that's step one. Pick a market. Ideally, pick a market that is profitable, you have an understanding in. Maybe it's a market that you've enjoyed working with in the past, or just some kind of market that you feel like has good potential future growth. And when you pick that market, get hyper specific with how you can help them. And now step 2 of the guide to escaping freelancing is to turn your service into an offer. Now, what I mean by that is that your service is typically what you actually deliver, right? You're a graphic designer, you'll create graphics for someone. You're a video editor, you'll edit videos. Now, your offer is everything. Your offer is like the front door to your service, because before someone even decides they want to work with you, they are going to make a decision based on your front door. Does your front door look enticing? Does it look inviting? Does it look like there's something nice on the other side of it? If not, they're not even going to bother walking in. If it does, if your offer is well crafted and well put together, they're going straight in. So if you want to turn your freelancing skills into a business, you need to stop saying, "Hey, I'm a video editor, I charge $100 an hour," or whatever it may be. You can instead make the video editing produce an outcome. So instead of, "I'll just edit your videos for fun," it can be, "I'll edit your videos for higher conversions," or "I'll edit your videos to help you build an audience," or "I'll edit your videos to help you sell more of your products." That way, the video editing isn't just video editing, but it produces a result. It creates an outcome. And when you do something like that, you're then able to sell that one skill for triple, quadruple the amount that you would have done before, because it actually produces a result. So the key here, when you're actually creating an offer around it, is to make the skill produce a result, because when you can do that, people will always be willing to pay you more money for it. And now the third step to escaping freelancing and really turning yourself into a business is actually to change how you're obtaining your clients. Because I get it, as a freelancer, you get clients through a few various different ways. It's either through word of mouth from working with your previous clients, it's either the previous connections that you had, or you're on platforms like Upwork or Fiverr where you're working on marketplaces and you're serving anybody and everyone. Now the problem with that is that you can't get specific on the type of person that you want to work with, and you can't get specific on the most profitable market or the market that you know is going to allow you to produce the best kind of work. So what you need to do in order to go from freelancer to business is to start picking out the market that you want to work with and going and finding clients manually. So this is the likes of doing things like email outreach, cold calls, creating content on social media outreach. There are countless of different ways you can actually go about reaching out to the people that you want to work with. But until you have those systems, you know what to say, you know how to say it, you know the right kind of process you need to go through in order to actually get their attention and get them on a call, you're always going to be working for people that are at the bottom of the barrel, the lowest hanging fruit, which can be good, don't get me wrong, but a lot of the time the lowest hanging fruit is the moldiest fruit. And if you want to really build a profitable business around your skill set, you need to go for that top of the tree kind of fruit, you know? Because I was exactly the same. When I started off, I went on a platform called Upwork, and I would just sit there and I would spend all day, every single day, applying to jobs, writing cover letters, trying to find different people and kind of compete with a bunch of other freelancers that were going for the exact same jobs. And it's exhausting. You're not in control of who you work with, how you work with them. The only benefit there is that they're actually warm leads, right? They're coming to you because they have the problem, but you can't get specific in solving their problem with your solution. Because if I'm a video editor and my craft is helping online coaches make better videos to sell more of their product or whatever it is, I can't do that on Upwork because there's no guarantee that a bunch of coaches are going to come to me. And the fourth step from going from a freelancer to a business is through system and automating. And when I say systems and automating, there's a few things that actually fall into this. Things such as actually delegating and building out a team around your expertise. So you're not the one person that does absolutely everything, but you can actually find people that are better than you at doing a certain thing and delegate to them. And this is one of the massive changes that I made within my business. When I was running an influencer marketing agency, I would actually hire people who could run the influencer campaigns better than I could. That way, again, the results that were produced were better, I was able to then charge more money and keep the client on for longer. It's the whole idea of going from working in the business to working on the business, which should be the ultimate goal, because that way you're not working a glorified 9 to 5, you're working on your own entity that you are growing. And of course, there's loads of other ways to automate and scale for using different softwares and tools and systems, whatever it may be, but that's the idea. You've got to find a way to detach your time from the money that you make, and it's all about using leverage. And I know countless people who have done this. For example, Samuel, one of my top students, started off as a video editor. He joined me as a video editor who was helping anyone do anything to do with video editing, and we ended up changing him from a freelancer doing video editing into a high quality luxury video editing service where he worked with startups, with companies with lots of capital in order to actually produce videos for them. And he went from being able to sign a client for like $1,000 a month to being able to sign clients for $6,000 a month. And there wasn't too many changes he made. The biggest change he made was, in fact, was going from a freelancer to an agency. Another example is a student called Anya, who I have an interview with on this channel, who actually went from the corporate world being a marketing specialist to then being a freelancer doing marketing for different companies and doing everything and anything, and then joining me and building out an agency around her skill set, in which she was able to go from, signing clients for absolutely pennies to signing clients for like $6,000-$7,000 a month per project. And it's all about implementing the previous steps that I just mentioned and actually turning herself from, I'm an individual freelancer and I don't have much value, to an agency, an entity, something where she's able to scale and detach herself from it and kind of really scale as much as she wants. Anyway, that is exactly why freelancing is dead and what you can do as an alternative. And the reason I'm passionate about it is because I went from that exact position as a freelancer who wasn't making much money, struggling to find a way to scale, to building out a massive company at the age of 21 years old. And now I just want to help other people do exactly the same, because I know it's not that far away. It's a few key steps you need to make and changes that you need to make in order to get there. So I feel your pain and I understand the way out. And if you're someone who's in a position I just mentioned, I actually have a free hour-long training video that you can go and watch on my YouTube that I'll leave at the end of this video, in which you can actually start to learn how to do this yourself. It goes into far more detail of how to pick a market, create an offer, systemize your service, all this kind of stuff. So I'll let you watch that. Appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.